All Access. It's the Monday recap presented by the Minot family at YMCA. Hopefully everyone is doing well as we welcome you into today's show. We're coming off preseason weekend number 2, the final preseason weekend for the Toros before they go off on an off week this weekend, followed by the beginning of the regular season in Blaine, Minnesota with the NAHL Showcase. Toros and Norsemen, 2 competitive games, both needed the extra period, and in Friday's case needed a shootout to decide it. We knew both these teams were going to be pretty competitive in the Central Division. Of course, this was a preseason installment of the Great River rivalry, which this year is being presented by the Great River Federal Credit Union. Toros win on Friday via a shootout, lost on Saturday in overtime, so for all intensive purposes, we'll call it a series split between these 2 teams. We knew Norsemen had 8 returners. However, with that being said, they finished last year from the outside looking in 5th place in the Central. New coach with Joe Exter, who brought a wealth of experience to the table this year, coaching in the USHL, the ECHL, NTDP, Big Ten. And the list goes on and on. So we knew this Norseman team was going to be a tough out this weekend, and it proved to be so. Despite it being a preseason matchup, I think we really saw a regular season level of play in both games. But looking at Friday night, Kevin Pro got the party started. He got an assist from Davin Nichols on a shorthanded goal in rushing into the offensive zone, and that broke a scoreless tie. But just a couple minutes later, Wes Berg for the Norsemen answered to tie back up at 1, and then we got another scoreless third frame, which prompted us going into overtime, where the Toros did have the extra man advantage 4-on-3 to begin the overtime session. Norsemen did a good job killing off the penalty, and then of course we went to a shootout where Jesse Uhala got the first round goal going bar down, and that proved to be enough. Gleb Artsebanov was solid in net through the shootout, shut down the Norsemen on all 3 shots to give the Toros the shootout win. Then looking at Saturday's game, kind of a different game. Toros got on the board a little earlier. Credit Oliver Barna on a goal, and then they ended up jumping out to a 3-1 lead. Kabulis and Simchuk added goals, but late game heroics for the Norsemen. And when we talk about late game, second half of the third period, Norsemen scored 2 goals to tie things up at 3 and then sent it to overtime, where Kyle Miller scored the game winner for St. Cloud. That was his second on the night as the Norsemen salvaged a series split against this Toro team. And the Toros, I guess you could say they split both preseason series last week with Bismarck, and then some late game win on Friday and a late game loss on Saturday night. But nevertheless, it was fun to be back at the Eckrink, the old Toros home. Good crowd out there on hand. Smaller venue, so things were a bit louder and a bit more regular season, I guess, sounding, if you will, as we flew through the last preseason weekend. But as I mentioned before, Toros will go on the off week next weekend, and then they'll travel to Blaine, Minnesota to take on the United States National Development Team on Wednesday, September 25th, followed by El Paso, and then an off day on that Saturday, an off day on that Friday, followed by a game against Springfield on Saturday to close out the showcase. But that's what's next for the Toros. They'll return back to Mesa Arena for their home opener, not until October 11th. So they have a little bit of time. They'll go to the showcase, road trip to Austin, and then they'll come back here to take on that same St. Cloud Norseman team. But credit to both teams this weekend. Really fun series and really impressive play from both teams in the extra sessions for the Toros during the shootout, and then for the Norsemen with the game winner by Kyle Miller in overtime. So nevertheless, a fun weekend. But we did record another mic'd up, this one coming in game from Leo Kabulis. Really fun time for him on Friday night. So stay tuned to check that out. We'll roll out, but you can tune in tomorrow. We're on YouTube Live today, just due to technical difficulties. But tomorrow we should be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So make sure to tune in. And then beyond that, there's also a QR code on one of the sides of the screen that you can scan. This side, I think, that you can scan. You get more Toro information, where that links to our social media, websites, and more. There's also a weekend recap article that you can read that went live today on the website, so make sure to check that out. And then also make sure to like the live, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, share Tauros All Access. It's the best way that you can stay up to date with everything here at Mesa Arena. So with that, we'll roll out with the Leo Kabulis mic'd up. Hope you guys enjoy that, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, good, stick. Speed. Surprise him, shoot. Come on. Yeah, good win. Support. That you can see, Dad was excited. Make way, make way! Hey! Let's go! Let's go! Hey! Find your teeth, buddy! Woo! Let's go, Dad! Hey, boys, let's go! Oh! Oh my! What did you hit something? That was close. Hey! Broken ankles. Fun, good job. You want to go? What's up?
I'm so dead already.
No, I'm good.
He's double shifting.
Energy, boys! Louder!